California State House just passed their bill criminalizing journalists for uncovering fraud, a.k.a. the Stop Nick Shirley Act. It's designed to shield groups who support illegal aliens from scrutiny.
Individuals who provide vital immigrant support services, including legal aid, humanitarian relief, case management, and advocacy, are facing targeted harassment. This law helps prevent individuals with malicious intent from targeting service providers, anti-immigrant vigilante activity directed at organizations by name and address.
The bill now heads to the state Senate for a vote before it goes to Governor Gavin Newsom. Joining us now is the man that has California very afraid. Independent journalist Nick Shirley joins us on set in studio here in New York. You're working on some things here in New York, but we're going to take it back to California for a moment there. We've had a chance to talk to you about this and the bill's sponsor, which has some familiar relations that we can get into too. But the fact that they think that you're harassing workers because you're asking basic questions about taxpayer funds is really quite stunning.
Yeah, my question to them would be, what do they have to hide?
Yeah.
Like, why do they have to create this bill specifically for immigrant communities, immigration support services? And what Mia Bonta didn't say when she spoke in front of the assembly was it also includes healthcare. So we know, like Medi-Cal, for instance, there's like there could be hundreds of billions of dollars in fraud just in Medi-Cal. And it was proven that there's $250 million in hospice fraud that her husband actually claimed that he prosecuted and that he found. And that would have happened if I didn't make that video on the hospice fraud. So Mia Bonta, her husband's the attorney general, and she's actually creating a bill that would have stopped somebody like me from exposing fraud inside the Armenian community, for instance. And her husband's the attorney general. Like, there's got to be some weird discussions going on in that house.
I mean, it's California. It's the most California thing I've ever heard. But you uncovered a lot, and your videos have created real change, I think, inspiring certainly the vice president and the task force. So you should be very proud of everything that you're doing.
So here's the question for you. She is a legislator. The California legislator is going after you. Aren't they supposed to be going after the fraud? I mean, their job is oversight over the spending of public money. And why do you have to uncover it? And why? And by the way, where's ABC News, NBC News, all the mainstream media uncovering it?
Should be really mad about this.
Yeah.
But they're not. And the fact is, like, why are they trying to make it harder to expose fraud? Well, a lot of these people need these communities for votes, or they need them to continue to pushing their agenda, specifically the immigrants. Like, why not just all support services? Why specifically immigration support services? It's because they need these groups, and they need the money to eventually funnel back into whatever agenda they want to continue to push. That's why they're creating this bill.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about why you're here in New York. So you're here, you held a kind of like a rally to expose the street peddlers and the counterfeit market that's kind of taken over. You were here with social media influencer Joe Sweeney. He held a rally up on Canal Street, and everybody knows Canal Street's where you go for this counterfeit stuff. I just got to ask, I don't know, why is that high on the list? Like, I don't guess I care if Gucci gets some of their profit taken away, but like, what else is going on there that makes that high on the list?
Well, there's a lot of problems with what goes down on Canal Street. I get hundreds of messages from moms saying, hey, we can't even take the subway anymore because we don't feel safe getting out there because the street vendors, the counterfeit sellers, have taken over that street. It's super dirty. It's not safe, one. And people sell, on top of the counterfeit goods, they sell drugs on the streets as well. I even had one of my cameramans got punched in the face by these guys who was selling drugs openly on the streets. And it's completely lawless there. And it's affecting a lot of the moms, which then also affects the children because the kids can't walk around there. Like, kids have how to walk across needles. A mom messaged me once.
Yeah. And the issue, Nick, also working in New York City, is that it's not just in Canal Street. It's even up here around Midtown, where there's a lot of business and tourism happening. I think this issue that you are rightly highlighting is spreading across the city, and one has to ask why. What type of authority is allowing that? And who is actually behind this? What do we know about these people that are peddling these counterfeit goods, and where is that money going and for what reasons?
Yeah, so the NYPD does their job, and they try to arrest these people, and they do arrest them. But however, the next day, they'll get released back onto the streets. And that's another issue, because you have people who have committed actual crimes that get caught, and then they're released in the street the next day. And these people have even told me, these counterfeit sellers, they make tens of thousands of dollars. Tens of thousands of dollars. And so when we talk about like taxing everyone, or like specifically like let's tax the rich here in New York City, well, why doesn't that money also get taxed as well? So it's completely unfair for everyone. And these people are making tens of thousands of dollars each and every single week, breaking the law. Meanwhile, there's a mom in the Bronx who comes in the city every single day who also gets taxed for her paycheck of $5,000 a month.
And counterfeit, by the way, is not a victimless crime. Like, I know we don't often cry tears for Italian design houses, right? I don't think Joey is. But still, when you're counterfeiting and you're ripping somebody off their ideas and their fashion, that's still wrong. And it still needs to be stopped. Unfortunately, there's just so much lawlessness you have to prioritize. Before we let you go, I want to talk about just your endeavors. Because of the Leering Center, right? Yeah. You are famous worldwide. So people see you coming now. And that's going to be an obstacle for you, because I know that you're still very invested in exposing and you've got a lot of work ahead of you. How do you navigate that while also being so recognizable now? People love you, people hate you.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how like I became somewhat polarizing when it was just actually helping everyone in the country to figure out where their tax dollars are going. And so I don't try to hide anything because I don't have anything to hide. So when I do go confront a fraudster and they start running from me, what does that say about the fraudster? They're obviously committing a crime, or they're committing some sort of fraud, because if they had nothing to hide, they would just simply confront me as well. And so I don't really plan to disguise myself. I don't have anything to hide. If they have something to hide, it goes to show that what I'm doing, I might be onto something with these fraudsters.
Yeah. Well, and I will say, just to wrap it up too, but part of what you did, especially in the early days before the Leering Center, is you were out there in some of these Antifa protests. You were out there in these Globalize the Intifada protests. I mean, you name it, you were there. I asked you about going to Newark, where, hey, guess what? They got another thing kicking off there, and you said it would be too dangerous for you. Yeah,
I mean, because of what the left-wing media did to me when I exposed this fraud, even Governor Tim Walz called me a white supremacist. All these other people call me racist, which is completely not true. But the radical left now believes that. And so now I have a target on my back. So I don't really plan on going to Newark or to much of this Antifa stuff. Maybe then I would have to get in a disguise. Maybe I'd play their game and get in black bloc. But yeah, it does make it a little bit harder for me to go into those sort of situations, which still need to be shown.
Yeah. No, they do, and you've done great work. So never stop, but get the black bloc, which we learned a new term, Mark and I did, for what these people do out there. They love their masks, and they love to hide their own identities. Nick Shirley, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Of course, thank you guys.
And stay safe out there,
That's
too.
Exactly right.
And keep doing the good work that you're doing.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.